Alright guys, so this first video from skill check number 2 is going to be about the first graph, and that's questions 1 through 6. So we first need to go to our y equals, and we need to enter in that equation that we see. So the equation is 2x cubed minus 10x squared plus 2x minus 3. And so when you enter an equation like this, guys, you want to double and then triple check to make sure your equation matches the one on the skill checker on the test. That way you know that the correct thing is graphing. So when I first graph, I'm going to click zoom 6 just to give me an idea of what this graph is supposed to look like. Okay, so then from here we can look and we can see, okay, well in this window it looks like it comes up, drops down, and then it looks like down here we're going to have like a minimum value, and then it's going to come back up. As you can see, it doesn't go really much past 6, and it really doesn't go too much less than -2. So that all should help me figure out this graph. So it doesn't go too much past -2, so let's go -3 for our x minimum. Whoops. Window, -3 for our x minimum. For our x maximum, it doesn't go too far past 6, so we'll go 7 for our x maximum. Making our tick marks count by 1 is fine. For our y minimum, this one needs to go a lot lower because remember we had that bump coming down here. So let's make that one like -50. That's just a total random guess. I have no idea what's going to be good for that. And then now let's try to click graph. And then look at that. Now we have a really nice graph. It's super smooth and it's covering all of our graph here, and we can see the y-intercept, we can see a maximum value, we can see a minimum value, and we can see an x-intercept. Okay, so that should be able to help us solve all of our questions. So for writing what a good window is, this is a great window right here, okay? Or something that's close to these numbers. So if you have something close, that's good. What you don't want to see is like a graph that's super skinny that only takes up 1/4 of your graph. You don't want to see a graph that's smushed down that like looks like it's all touching the x-axis. You want a nice smooth graph where you can see all of the special parts of it. So calculating the y-intercept, that one's easy. We're just going to click trace, we're going to click 0, and then we're going to click enter. That takes us right to where we cross the y-axis. So then when we write the y-intercept, we would just put 0, -3. Notice it should say all of these are written as ordered pairs. The next one says calculate the x-intercept. So we go second trace. X-intercept is right here. It's going to ask for a left bound, so we can click to the right a little bit. Okay, as long as we're to the left of where we cross the x-axis, that's what we want. So left bound. Now we need to go to the right. Right bound, then our guess, we can just click enter right on the right on the right bound, and then here's our 0. Okay, so the 0 would be 4.86 comma, this right here is an error that our calculator makes sometimes. What this is saying is 5.2 times 10 to the -12, but really this is just 0. Okay, so your x-intercept should always be 4.86 comma 0. Even if the y shows up that it's not 0, it's always 0 for the x-intercepts. So for the maximum value, we're going to go second trace. We're going to go down to maximum. And then it says we need a left bound of the maximum, so we need to go way over here to the left. Okay, and we need to go past that maximum. We click enter. And now we need to go to the right of that maximum. Make sure you go past it. Okay, click enter again, guess, just click right on the bound, and then it takes us right to our maximum value. So the maximum value here is at 0.10, comma, -2.90 is how we would round up for that one. Okay, so -2.90. Same thing is going to happen for the minimum value. We click second trace, we go minimum, left bound of the minimum. Minimums always occur in these valleys down here. So we can go here for our left bound, right bound, we just keep coming to the right until we make sure that we're past it. Click enter again, and then here's our minimum value. So the minimum is at 3.23, comma, -33.47. So that would be how we find our minimum. The last one here asks us for f of 6.5. Okay, to find f of 6.5, what you need to do is you need to make sure that 6.5 exists on your x values, okay? If your window does not have an x maximum that has 6.5 in it, it's going to give you an error. So make sure your x max is past 6.5. Now we can go to graph, we can click trace, we type in 6.5, and bam. It's looking for this y value, okay? When you ask f of 6.5, all it wants is just the y value, so 136.75, okay? And that's how you would do all of these first graphing questions.